Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Okay, so that was interesting.
Well, I heard my beloved bass line this time. That's good.
Yep. So anyway, welcome to this impromptu Monday show of the Whitfield Report, the St. Patrick's Day Hangover show.
Well, I mean, because we're all just drunks, right? Yeah, I was thinking about this, man. Imagine for 1 second. See, there's one and only one specific racial ethnic group that you're allowed to be that fucking rude to because we just kind of don't care. But imagine if on Martin Luther King Day, they told everybody to wear black and steal things. Yeah, that's what the American version of St. Patty's Day is. It's that offensive, actually, because I'm Irish as fuck. I am not an alcoholic. I do like to fight.
No, so am I.
It's just.
I mean, I'm Irish too.
I didn't drink anything yesterday myself, Sam, but I did have a amazing corned beef dinner, and then today, and of course, regaled myself with some old Irish tunes, you know. Oh, Rosella Halwalia, oh, Rosella Halwalia, oh, Rosella Halwalia, Honishan Haktun Tari. Yeah, man. That's
based.
There.
That sounds that
you know,
that
and of course IRA songs. You know, they're pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I drank 2 pints. I drank maybe 3 pints of Guinness. Yesterday.
Go.
I sold some more books over the weekend. The Fourth Estate. Got my first negative review on the book, but that's
man.
okay.
Can we read it? Can we read it? I want to hear it.
Sure.
Those are the we have not read one positive review, and we should apologize to everybody who reviewed it. It's very kind of you to give Sam a good review, and I hope that you really meant it. And I hope that it wasn't just to help us out, but you gotta admit, y'all want to see what the negative one says, don't you?
Yeah, I read it, and it was pretty constructive. I don't know if the person who wrote the review understood what I was trying to go for, though.
Fair enough. So it's not like a 0 stars. This is the worst thing I've ever read.
No,
it's actual feedback.
Yeah.
Well, that's less fun.
Yeah,
I was hoping it would just be a string of expletives, you know.
No, I've had those on the. I mean, I've had those types of reviews too on the podcast. But you can clearly
sorry about that again, Sam. I just it was a bad episode, and I just went on. Just imagine it's just like me, and I'm like, this is the worst fucking podcast on the internet.
Yeah, no, well, like what if it was? You know, you could kind of tell.
That might be a good marketing tactic now that I think about it.
You know who you could the episodes where you could like tell who wrote the reviews. Well, like I'm pretty sure that Owen Benjamin had like a lot of his cult members, fans, negatively review the show, like review bomb the show, because you can kind of tell like when they just write things like it's really bad.
It's Owen Benjamin, so okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, what are they gonna say? He doesn't hate Jews enough or something? Like, that seems to be all those people care about.
Yeah, well, Yeah, well,
they're really not gonna like the next time we have Craig on, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah,
and then we joke about how we've both experienced anti-Semitism. I spent a year with the Israeli flag in my Twitter bio, and I've learned some things. Is that you don't have to be Jewish to be the target of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, apparently not.
And the kind of people that would do that kind of anti-Semitism to little old me, man, they're not sending their best. I was hoping there'd be some like awesome Jew jokes, that would make me laugh. It's just a bunch of violent threats. Very uncreative. Which, violent threats would be fine too, but at least make a creative violent threat. Like, come on, guys. Is the I'm gonna kill you thing, is that really like, I mean, it's 2024. You gotta, like, I don't know, you're gonna like stick a fucking bicycle pump up my ass and inflate it until my head explodes. You have to be creative. At least, I think. Although I found out today that laughter is the new symbol of the far right, so maybe that's what it is.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually. Okay, so hold on. This guy, I'm looking at the negative review here. This guy didn't even like purchase the book. I don't think.
Okay.
So, it doesn't say verified purchase. Nevertheless, I mean, I'll read it, and I'll even put it up. Let's see. Am I logged in? Nope. So you can't see my. Okay. Let's see.
I feel like I'm going to be disappointed if it's not like just horrific meanness.
I mean, I'm kind of a little disappointed that it's not even like a verified. It's not even like a verified purchase. Honestly, I feel like if you're gonna leave like any sort of review on my
this soon, that does seem kind of fishy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What did he get the book in some? I don't know. Does it seem like he read it from the comment?
No,
or
no,
is he just critiquing the premise or something?
Let me read it if I can. Oh,
sure. I'm just filling time till you can get it up by asking dumb questions.
Okay.
Oh God, you're not supposed to say that out loud because the audience is supposed to not be in on the magic of the presentation.
So he writes, I'm sure this young man has passion, but he really needs to get an editor to iron out the prose. Endless commas and run-on sentences make this sound like a first draft. Hire an editor and maybe I can bring this up to a 3-star. Well, I mean, I did have an editor, and he went through it, and
not just some idiot either, and not me, audience. It was not me.
No, it was actually a classmate of mine who was who was a fellow English major.
It's somebody that Sam trusted to do that, and I don't know. The first one didn't have such a problem, and again, if he's not a verified purchase, it's like okay.
And also, and I won't show this up. I won't show this on screen, but I did click on the guy's profile, and this guy seems to like leave negative reviews pretty consistently across Amazon, just on various products. So it does make me wonder, like, if this is just a guy who likes.
What's funny? This exact criticism could be leveled at Stephen King. This exact criticism could also be leveled at Heather Graham, This exact criticism could be leveled at a friend of the show, Terrence McCauley. So the point being, is that a lot of great writers use longer sentences. They're not necessarily run on. That's not necessarily it. And I don't know. I mean, if he read it, if we could verify that he read it, I'd take it a little more seriously. But I haven't gotten it yet. So because I got my glasses though. Okay. Oh yeah, I mentioned there was a contest. Chat. There was a contest.
Yeah.
Between, the government insurance and the private sector. And as you can see, I got glasses. One of them won, right? We'll get into that.
Yeah, well, nevertheless, I do appreciate this person for leaving a review and giving their
engagement is good.
The timing does seem a little fishy, I will say that, considering that like I didn't even have my book on the 14th. I don't think a lot of people. I know Morpheus and neither of us got our actual like copies of the book until Friday.
I mean, it could have been the ebook, but
yeah, it could
doesn't say it's a verified purchase. So how would we know?
Maybe you could have read it on like maybe you could have read it on Kindle Unlimited. But
I'm pretty sure that does a verified purchase tag too.
Yeah. Who knows? Anywho, nevertheless, go
raise it to 3 stars, and we still won't care, guys. Sorry, it's like if you know,
if you'd like to leave a review of the Fourth Estate, please go and purchase a copy of the Fourth Estate.
I mean, you don't have to purchase one, and you can leave a review, but we don't actually want you to do that. Review it if you read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want you to we're not here to get personal army audience. We're going to get you to fucking help Sam. No, if you liked it, say so. If you didn't like it, please tell us.
Yeah, please, please buy the book though before you.
And if you absolutely hate it and think it's the worst thing you've ever read, well, then don't read the next one, I guess, and tell us why.
Yeah, or it might not be your style either.
I want to say something about that cover. Could you hold up the cover for a moment, nice and close? Because the thing that I liked immediately when you were kind of workshopping the cover for us is I have a problem with modern books, Sam. And I think you probably will know what the problem is as soon as I explain it and agree. But modern covers do not do what yours does very often. And what I mean by that is evoke what's going on in the book with the cover.
Yes.
Gone in and looked at modern horror, especially horror novels in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to keep holding it up, but the point being is what's shown on your cover is a guy in what looks like a government office, maybe even the Oval Office, and dealing with clearly some type of situation, which is exactly what the fucking book's about, right? And so you look at that and this is probably a political thriller just by the fucking cover. How many novels use this modern, cheap graphic design bullshit and don't even evoke what the book's about? I could find you a billion examples. Go to the new releases section of any store with books. I'd say bookstore, there's not too many of those anymore, but you will very quickly just look at the covers and then without any other information, try and ask yourself, what is this book about? Then go look at some 1980s, 1990s covers of novels and ask yourself the same question. The modern graphic design art style can be used to effect because that's what your cover is. It's not an actual painting, but you have to know the medium. That is a cover that knows the medium and knows that it can say with just an image, this kind of book is about, if you like political thrillers, this is probably going to be that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys, and I mean, to be honest, I'll be fair and say, like, one of my criticisms of, and Eric knows this, so I'm not like that, but like one of my criticisms is, if you look at the first cover of like the first edition of the Body Man, not the re-release version, but the initial one that is published, it's just a boring generic picture of the White House lawn at night. And I mean the book itself is good, but
which will tell you which it is, by the way. And I do like the new. I'm with you. I like the new re-released cover a lot better.
Yeah.
I will say this. It does tell you the genre by that picture, but it does not tell you a lot about what might go on. And with the title, it could almost be genre confusing with that cover.
Right.
But the new cover is not confusing at all. And I think it's, he did a wonderful job. Whoever did that cover for him, you know, he deserves, he should buy him a drink, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty kick-ass cover, and it was enough for me to go and him being on the show and everything else, but was enough for me to go and pick up the re-release. I just don't have it right next to me. I think it's in the bathroom because I'm reading it.
And you do all your reading on the John. Hey, and now
you get a lot of business done on the John. Okay, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
That's where business.
No, me too. Listen, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I have my two Bluetooth speakers there. I listen to podcasts in the morning when I'm getting ready. But anyway, speaking of podcasts though and whatnot, Max, friend of the show and you know, controversial, a guy who's been doing podcasting
as long
as I have been, Jesse from Pod Awful, his YouTube channel got terminated.
Yeah, completely out of the blue. He was live streaming, similar to what happened to you, and he was what it was is he's the way Pod Awful is set up. And I'm gonna straight up just promote him. Oh my God! Oh no! I'm tricking the audience. You'll understand that later if you don't know what I'm talking about. Podawful.pizza, podawful.tube, podawful.com. Go to one of his sites if you want to find out. It's a comedy show. I know our audience. I mean, we're kind of a comedy show. We're more on the political end. Jesse is not. It's not a political show. It's a straight up comedy show. And oftentimes he would make fun of even people like us for our political beliefs, right? Which is why I fucking love the show, because nothing is off limits and nothing, you know, and
no,
he's a funny and entertaining guy. And I've been watching Pod Awful for like a very long time, since like at least 2016, 2015, something like that. And
yeah, I've been watching him since like 2018, basically.
And he's consistently putting out high quality shows, and maybe sometimes he takes breaks here and there, but that's why him having his own platform is great. And so what does he use the YouTube for? The YouTube is essentially a teaser to go to the paywalled content. Who else does that? Well, Steven Crowder does that, right? Famously.
Yeah.
Basically everybody has a Patreon, right? These are off-site. So you're leading your audience off-site if you do that, right? Did you know, Sam, that that's against the YouTube terms of service?
Well, now I do, but no, I did not.
So that's what Jesse, allegedly, this is what YouTube has told him now. You can check my Twitter, Sam's Twitter. We've retweeted it. I tweeted quite a lot about it because it really pissed me off. Essentially, yeah, he got told that he was banned for using a video on YouTube as an advertisement for more content behind his paywall, that is against the terms of service on YouTube. Not a question. This isn't up for debate. It is against the terms of service of YouTube to put a link in your description to anything off-site that has a paywall.
How long has it been this way?
It's always been that way. They just don't enforce it. It's selective enforcement, and I strongly suspect they just wanted to get rid of Pod Awful for one reason or another. And what it really boiled down to is he got mass reported by one angry guy. And so YouTube is proving that that is an effective strategy. And if you hate somebody, that's what you should do.
Yeah, well, it just that A, I did not know that, but B, that kind of makes me scratch my head because I know that there are verified partner channels on YouTube, H3H3.
Everybody over 100,000 subscribers does this. Every single one of them, and most people over 10,000 do it.
Chris Stuckman, who is arguably the greatest.
PewDiePie does this.
Yeah. Point is like all of the main MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee, he has a Patreon, and he's like top tier tech YouTuber.
I honestly cannot think of a big YouTuber that does not do this. So it is selective enforcement. YouTube either needs to bring him back, and I went one step further. I tweeted at Rumble, I tweeted at Odyssey, and I tweeted at Kick, and I asked them what their policy is on this. If you're allowed to put links in your description on their websites, none of them have gotten back to me so far. But spoiler, I already know the answer to the question. The answer on Rumble is yes, you can put links in your description.
Yeah.
So why YouTube would do this? So let's look at it like this. Obviously, they haven't enforced it universally on everybody, right? Because we just mentioned a bunch of people with gigantic channels, including the biggest individual channel in the world, which is PewDiePie, or Mr. Beast does it too. Mr. Beast is maybe more charitable, but it doesn't fucking matter. The point is, does he have links in the description of his video that are leading people off site? Yes. To donate money. Yes. So Mr. Beast is in violation of this. PewDiePie is in violation of this. And if it's not every video, I guarantee you could go through all these people's history and find some link like that.
Channel Awesome, back when that was a thing, had Patreon links.
Everybody has a Patreon. Like it's not even worth us pointing out who had it because everybody knows what Patreon is. How do you even know what Patreon is if they weren't put in YouTube descriptions? Most people on Patreon are YouTubers, like the largest proportion of them.
Yeah.
So everybody fucking knows this. Nobody knew it was against the rules because they don't fucking enforce it. And if they did universally enforce it on everybody who breaks that rule, it would be suicide for their platform, and they know it. So once again, selective enforcement from the fucking tyrants at YouTube. And I said, and I mean it, that I am in the process of removing, or maybe not removing, my channels from YouTube. I might just leave them there, but future content from my stuff, aside from this show, which is already not on YouTube primarily, are not going to be on YouTube anymore. I'm going to be cringing over coffee, going to be a Rumble exclusive now. There you go. Done.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I might put old episodes up on YouTube so that because the problem is the same reason that Jesse wants his channel back. Reach. You get more reach on YouTube right now. That's just how it is. It's how it's been for fucking a very long time. So that's why you want it there. But like, I don't want to be somewhere where I have to worry about such and by the way, his channel didn't even have a warning on it, and it got deleted. just outright, flat out deleted, and so was the Gmail or whatever, the Google account attached to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, mine was weird because like I had to add like 2 community strikes on my channel, but then after a period of time, like those clear or what, those like go away. I don't think what people might not realize is that like those 2 channel strikes I had cleared, but and then they banned my channel, and they never gave me any reason as to why the Whitfield Report channel was banned. And here's the other thing: I was on a stream. Well, I wasn't on a stream, but I was watching the stream of Liz Antoinette. She still chronicles some of the Owen Benjamin stuff. I don't tune in too often, but she was doing a live stream that Alan Powell and I both watched, and apparently there are a lot of people from that community who did not know that I was banned off YouTube. They just thought I had quit doing the Whitfield. Whitfield Report because none of them are on Twitter. And so, they just assumed that I'd quit. And so I explained to them, no, here's the situation. But, it just goes to show that reach is really what YouTube is there for.
And it's what it's picking and choosing who's allowed to have it. In this case. And yeah, it's just wrong. So why am I going to tolerate a platform that won't tolerate a simple comedy show? Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm one of the people they're claiming was tricked into going to his website. No, I went and joined the Pizza Fund to support somebody that I like their content. And yes, I went to his site to get that extra paywalled content because I wanted it. And it was well worth it, by the way. I obviously buy Sam's book. If you got more money after that, maybe the Pizza Fund is worth it for you. I don't know. Maybe check out Pod Awful. Maybe it's not. But point being, okay, I was not tricked. I was not fucking tricked. And I don't appreciate YouTube telling me I was tricked. And I don't appreciate YouTube deleting a guy for trying to point me to more stuff I can get from him. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, YouTube has a see, here's the thing too. Like, YouTube is bizarre in the sense that like okay, so the 2 videos that they struck before they banned me, they struck 2 videos from my channel. Now, granted, those of you who have been around long enough know that back in the day, Apex Scam and I had some wild streams, admittedly. Were any of those streams banned? No. The 2 streams that got banned were, one, a show where Apex and I both broke down the vax mandate as it was described by the FDA itself. So we basically got struck for reading like official government documentation, which is weird. And then the other video that got struck was my interview with my friend Luke Nicholas, who was at the Capitol on January 6th. And all I asked him was, what happened? Where were you? Tell me what happened on the group.
To the audience, he wasn't in the building.
No, but he was close by enough.
Right. I just want to.
Yeah.
for his benefit, want to point that out that he was not
yeah.
charged with anything, right? I don't believe it was. Okay.
No, he's a government worker.
Right.
So
I knew
his,
that. I just don't want to like give the audience the wrong impression if they don't know anything about the story. That it wasn't like you were like interviewing the QAnon shaman or something.
No.
I don't even think should be a problem either. But it was just a guy who works there who was a witness.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And just for talking at January 6th, I got the I got a strike. So, like it makes me wonder if YouTube, like it makes people wonder, and I know I'm not the only one who wonders this, but it's like, how does YouTube even stay in bit? Like honestly, at this point,
because all the other Alphabet Inc. products. That's why.
Yeah.
Actually, you want to know the honest answer? If you break down their finances, what the answer to that question is?
They're losing money.
The Android operating system and the Google Play Store is what keeps that company in business.
No shit. Because, I mean, if they wanted to, YouTube could make money, but I'm
not so sure that's the case.
Yeah,
it never has in its entire existence. Did you know that?
Yeah, I actually did know that one.
The cost of hosting high definition video and streams for just anybody for free is it's pretty Twitch went into this not that long ago. They said for somebody who streams an average of 3 times a week between 4 and 6 hours, which is the most average streamer in the world for video game stuff on Twitch, that costs them to host over $1,500 a month. So and they said the reason they said that is they're saying if you don't bring in that much money, we kind of can't make you a partner because that doesn't make economic sense.
Well, at least they're being straightforward about that, though.
Yeah, and that's why they brought in all these titty streamers to get naked on camera, obviously. Now they needed people who could make that fucking 1,500, you see?
Well, okay, I can respect that more, Max, than YouTube, who just throws up arbitrarily. You violated, TOS.
Well, the difference is that at least Twitch still has a profit motive, but YouTube having never had a profit motive, the reason that Google and Alphabet Inc. holds on to YouTube the way it does is not about money. It's about narrative. It's about controlling the narrative.
Yeah,
but that's not a big meta. Like they did. Like that's the thing is Jesse's not part of the narrative. Again, it's a comedy show. It's just what he's experiencing, and I know a lot of people, especially with our audience, they are biased and they're like, yeah, but Google's political. But what they're doing here is actually worse because it's corporate apathy. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
One hand doesn't know what the other's doing because he had multiple people tell him what he didn't violate the terms of service as well. YouTube reps, and then he has other ones that say he did. He has other people. He has some of them saying that his channel should be reinstated, and he has others saying that it shouldn't. So the YouTube doesn't even know what fucking YouTube is doing in his case. In his case, I don't think it's a political bias as much as a mismanagement and corporate apathy and policies being bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
However, the reason that Google holds on to YouTube is the narrative reason, right? And then we get the fucking mismanagement because of it, because they don't actually care about managing the site the best they can to make the most money. They just want to control the conversation.
There is another thought that I had on this as to why Pod Awful could be banned. So do you know where Google Gemini gets its training data from? What leaked earlier?
I really didn't jump into that mess. I know that it's pretty awful. So
yeah,
no, I don't.
It's awful. Long story short, one of the engineers in an interview with the Wall Street Journal last week basically admitted and then tried to walk back that Google Gemini has been training off of the data sets on YouTube, which they're not supposed to do because that's a violation of YouTube's terms of service as well. I don't know why, but it is, and they've gotten a lot of heat about it. But the thinking is my thinking at least is they're starting to get rid of all these like edgy channels because they don't want Gemini. Basically, they don't want Gemini to like watch an episode of Pod Awful and then like
and then just start trolling Mersh. we create AI.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, by the way. 10 out of
10. Yeah.
We need a Pod Awful AI.
Yeah.
Jesse's not going to be around forever. The internet needs to be bullied.
Yeah.
Mersh needs to be bullied. What are we gonna do?
Well, him especially needs to get. He does need to get bullied. I mean, but like in all seriousness, that is one of the things. I don't think Google wants Gemini to be trained on Pod Awful videos or gym videos for that matter.
Right, but he again, here's a great example. Mr. Medicare has links in his description to sell you things off-site. He's not banned.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating that he should be. My position is that should not be against the rules. Period. Because that's how the whole fucking site works. This isn't 2008 YouTube. You built the entire thing that you bought into a giant grift platform. Now you want them to not grift anymore? Motherfuckers have been putting Patreons in their description since like 2012, motherfucker. Come on. They know what they're fucking doing. They use it as an excuse when they got nothing else, and they had nothing else on Jesse. It's despicable. Podawful.pizza. Well, by the way, you can watch a lot of the content on there absolutely free.
Yeah.
Also, just search Pod Awful. He does have he doesn't have, but another person has a channel to stream his show because he's dealing with this now on YouTube. So if you want to find him on there, I think it's just Pod Awful makes it worse. He's got a couple others. People are putting up mirrors essentially.
He even, if you guys like to listen to podcasts, which I do, you can find Pod Awful on Spot. I know you can find Pod Awful on Apple Podcasts because that's where I started like listening to him.
He was on doing Apple Podcasts back when there was like 5 people doing it, you know?
Yeah, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can find Pod Awful on Spotify.
He's been doing this for like 14 years. It's also kind of like, and I say insulting as if I'm like, feeling his feelings, but it's insulting that they don't think that he's a professional when he's been doing it fucking longer than they've owned the site.
Yeah, we'll say, same here on my end.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. It's stupid. Free Pod Awful. I'm gonna continue to support Pod Awful. I'm not gonna let this one fucking lie. And quite frankly, I moved most of everything off of the fucking. The only reason the Cringe Coffee, let's level with the audience right now. The only reason the Cringe Coffee House is still on YouTube is because that's where Johnny Fox's fucking audience is, and so they'll see it. That's it. Do I need to be on YouTube for any other reason? No, I don't care about reach for that show. That's not what the point of the show is.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, well, and see, the thing is too is like, uh, even before they banned me, like I was shadow banned to the point where like even my subscribers weren't getting notifications.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was already ridiculous. We were already bitching about YouTube at that point, and I had just come on the show. It was only like a month or two.
yeah,
Like right the fuck away. But the whole time before that, we were like, oh my God, we can't get chat, and nobody's getting notifications. We were trying to figure out how do we fucking get the word out. Well, the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is the same way we do it on Rumble, except Rumble doesn't purposely hinder us. I'm not gonna say they bend over backwards to promote us, but they definitely don't purposely fucking hinder us.
no, no. I mean, we get more views on replays, on Rumble like the next day than we do live sometimes, which is crazy to me.
Which is great. Listen at your leisure. You don't have to be here for the live. And in fact, that's probably why the chats aren't always the most lively. Certainly the Wednesday chat gets a bit nuts, but I imagine most people are watching after the fact, and that's great.
Yeah, well,
Hope you're doing something productive right now and enjoying your day.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we kind of did this one like impromptu a bit.
Yeah, usually you
So
tape the Monday show and then just post it anyway. So I bet you
yeah,
the same audience that picks it up on a Tuesday morning is probably going to listen.
yeah. I just felt like going live because why not? I feel like Pod Awful kind of deserves a live show.
Yeah, man, I know. Look, there's people that have not nice things to say about Jesse. I don't care. Jesse's I consider him a comedic genius of his age. And also he's been nothing but good to us, bro. I don't know why people have such fucking problems with him. Sam, you went on Pod Awful.
Yeah, I went on Pod Awful, and granted, Jesse made fun of me to my face, which and people thought that was brutal, but I was okay with it, and
you were laughing.
I was laughing.
They were funny jokes.
They were funny jokes, and also like it. Also, I appreciate a man who can. I appreciate anyone who can make fun of me to my face, instead of Mersh who was like, oh yeah, buddy, that was great, and then later on I see like
you just have the Cope and Seed stream for 2 hours about you when he thinks you're not watching.
Well, yeah, that, and then and then also like, Mersh, if you think that your Discord is super secure, I got news for you. Like I've seen screenshots of your private DMs and what you've said about me. So like that's what I'm saying too. Like Jesse when he insults people, he'll insult people to their face, not in private.
That's how I met him. That's how I first heard of Pod Awful. We used to do these Friday night hangouts. I wasn't the host or whatever, but people would just jump on and just argue with each other, like 2014 to maybe 2017.
Yeah.
Jesse came on because that's what he used to have Friday night Google Hangouts explosions. These were some of the funniest shit they used to do, where they just go join somebody's hangout and fuck with them. He joined our hangout trying to fuck with us, and we all kind of just laughed at his jokes and like kind of agreed with him. And then he was trying to like upset us all. So there's this one guy none of us liked, KK, he'd come in, and he's just that guy that's always argumentative. Jesse's really good at like spotting social situations. He immediately knew we all didn't like this guy. So the funny thing to do then would be to like that guy, right? Here's the problem. KK is an anarcho-capitalist to the most ridiculous degree possible, and he believes that there should be no age of consent laws. And he started talking about it immediately after Jesse said he liked him to fuck with us. And at that point, Jesse's like, I was wrong. And he left. And I went over to his website thinking, we got him. We got him. I was going to troll him. And I got in his chat and I was watching his show and kind of talking. He was making fun of me in his chat, you know? And I was like, man, this is pretty funny. And then like the next week, I was just like, let me check out what he's doing now. And I've been watching ever. Actually, what really sealed the deal for me, chat, if you want to see Pod Awful at what I consider its old school best, check out the episode where he interviewed Douglas Levison. Do you know who that is?
That name sounds, I don't know, but that name sounds like I know I've heard that name before.
Okay, so he is better known in the internet as Trumpet Fight Guy. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. You suck. Silence is the muse for the creatives or whatever. Like, he goes off on this guy playing a trumpet, and he's this little tiny cartoonish looking man just screaming, I walked Bob Dylan on stage. Who the fuck are you? And it's one of the funniest videos of its era. And Jesse interviewed that guy, and you'd think the video was funny enough. They stopped talking about the video fairly quickly because Douglas Levison is fucking nuts. He's fucking... So he starts talking about he was abducted by fucking aliens. And he starts talking about how he can fucking levitate off the floor if he's meditating.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that video, actually.
It's such a classic. Because Jesse's like, you could tell he's just like, I don't have to do anything. Just let him talk. And it's from then on, it was like, I was a Pod Awful guy. And I make no apology. And if you don't like that, I'm not sorry.
My favorite is when one of my favorite episodes from there was a period of time where so I first got introduced to Pod Awful because John Arcade, who I knew through the Owen saga, he actually turned me on to Jesse. But there was an early episode of Pod Awful that I remember listening to where Jesse was making fun of Harry Potter fans.
Mm-hmm.
Even before it was.
I know exactly. I can't remember the title, but I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he
pretty brutal, actually.
And so he called this trans he called this trans, I don't know, but I don't know if it was a guy to a girl or whatnot, but he was just making fun of this person, and you realize that Harry Potter isn't real, right? And this person had a mental breakdown upon realizing that Harry Potter wasn't real or something like that. So
yeah, there's a lot of I mean, right off the bat though, I think if you have never seen Pod Awful, the one that I would suggest, and this is the one I kind of started, my wife had heard, she'd been sitting there sometimes and seen a little Pod Awful, but she never actually watched, right? What got her was last year's Awfulween episode called The Red Rooms, which is, I don't even know how to explain. It's the funniest fucking thing ever. They essentially, this guy gets catfished, but not just catfished, and it's not even technically catfishing because they didn't want money from him because he's a poor guy anyway. It's I believe the term is corn dogging because it's the same thing, but you're just trying to embarrass the person rather than scam them. Anyway, these e-girl, two of them, girls, convince him of a whole bunch of shit. There's the Red Rooms, there's these It's supposed to be like some dark web place that murders women, and they tell them that, oh yeah, I just got out of the red rooms, and oh well, Rufio, if you want to be with this girl, you need to send the other one to the red rooms. And he immediately says yes. Like immediately, he condemns a girl to be like raped and murdered, just so he has a chance with the other girl he thinks is hot. Immediately, like, and she's crying. Oh, I forget her name. But she's such a great actress in it, because she's like, no, but what about my children? Please, no. And he's just like, yeah, because if I could get that other chick, you know what I mean? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but yeah. Oh, man. And then there's a necromancer. I'm not even going to go any further. That's the setup. It ends with a fucking necromancer, and dude believes it to be 100% real. 100%.
I wonder, like, have you tried to show Dave to Pod Awful?
No, because Dave. Well, I don't even think that's the thing.
I
Dave
know
is
that
mine, unfortunately. Well, or fortunately, but yeah, Dave is mine.
I know that Dave is yours, but I feel like
it's not a thing. Like, I can't just give him to him. That's not really how it works.
No, but I feel like if you were to show Dave to Jesse would either.
I know
be
Angie
bored.
was looking a little bit into the Johnny Fox stuff, but I really don't think Johnny Fox is like Pod Awful funny. You're right that Dave is, but Pod Awful's got a lot of kind of similar people anyway. And yeah. No, if you ever wanted to look at Dave, I would not be offended by it. But he is a believer in that you own the goon. Whoever's the first guy is the one that owns them. That's not even me with Dave, but the people that it is abandoned him. So I kind of just like inherited Dave.
Oh, that's kind of sweet of you to adopt Dave.
Yeah, Dave's been on fire lately. Have you seen the videos I've been posting? And by the way, if you're a viewer of the show, check out the Gilded Sir. I don't know if you have a link in the description. That's
I do have a link to Gilded.
Yeah.
By the way,
we have fun in there.
by the way, speaking of Patreon, I actually do have a Patreon. It's on standby. It's on like standby mode. And
I mean, what extra content would we really offer? That's the question. With a modern show, because I'm sure you have something from like when you used it or when you set it up, but like, is there really a business model for us with like a Patreon? So that's why I think the book is the best way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the book is the best way to go. But that's the thing. Like, is like if people want us to do like an extra show, like that would be.
I always thought we should try the opposite thing, and we should try donate, and we'll have a goal. You know how they all have goals, and the goal will be that if we reach the goal, we will immediately stop the show.
Yeah. That would actually be a great one.
It'd be a good experiment at the very least. Like, how many people just want us to shut up?
Yeah.
If you want us to shut up, hit the goal.
No,
God, I hate the grifter shit though. I really like what we're doing with the book because it's been successful and helpful and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like, oh, what do we do? Because we come in here off the cuff, It's not like, I mean, we prepare a little. Well, Sam prepares a little bit. Not me.
Yeah.
Sam's like, have you heard about this news story? And I'm like, no. And he's like, it's literally everybody's talking about it. What is wrong with you?
No, I mean, I literally thought of like the Google Gemini stuff. I'm like, oh, that could be why they're messing with like that. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
YouTube is messing with Pod Awful because they don't want Gemini to become an internet troll. So,
bro, like Pod awful AI.
We
that's the future I want.
We already know that like Google Gemini is racist though. So, Pod awful AI would actually be an upgrade.
True. That's true. It very much wouldn't tolerate Mersh though.
Well, I mean,
Mersh should get spit right the fuck out the algorithm. Oh wait, that already happens.
Yeah, it's supposedly.
You see, he abandoned the fucking cat channel already.
Yeah, because apparently cat ladies don't like alt-right people, and by alt-right, like, I mean like actual like Mersh.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the Johnny Fox thing too. He's so mad about that. He commented on my stream about how he was at Charlottesville, and I stand by that. And Johnny, if you believe what I'm saying to be untrue, then by all means file that lawsuit, buddy. Just the one you promised. You got that lawyer on retainer in New York City that you told me about. Why don't you fucking you got fucking 15 grand to just get a New York City lawyer on retainer for little old me. But I digress. Sue me, bitch.
But wait, he lives in London, I thought, or
Oh, he lives in London, and he lives in Canada, and he lives in Boston, and he lives in Virginia, his whole fucking life. Whatever. But regardless, he thinks I live in New York. Apparently, I've never said that, not once, and I've always said I live in Massachusetts. I'm not like the most well-hidden guy on the internet, Johnny. He also said, here's the funny one. You'll get a kick out of this. He said that I was simping for his exes. You see, in his mind, me being nice to women who are talking to me about how he was mean to them is simping.
Well, to that I would say that Johnny, you're confusing Max and myself with that one.
There's some truth to that. That's
Sure.
But if he has these messages of me being inappropriate, by all means, my wife would love to see them. Please post them publicly. I double dog dare you.
And by the way, Johnny,
you know what happens, Sam? You know what happens is if it gets into even remotely flirty territory, is I get super uncomfortable and I say, I am a happily married man.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
Because sometimes broads don't like that answer, but they usually respect it. And then if it continues past that point, they soon realize that I am not interested. So show those DMs, Johnny. Show all of them.
Yes.
You know who else reads those DMs, Johnny? You know who reads my fucking DMs? You know who I'll show anything I say online to? My fucking wife. Idiot. My wife sees anything I write. I have, because I don't say anything I'm ashamed of. Oh, is it projection again? Oh, Johnny. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, Johnny Fox is an idiot. Mersh is an idiot. Pod awful deserves to have his YouTube channel back.
And so do I. For that.
Well, to be fair, we didn't even bother trying too hard.
No, well,
we had a discussion, about what we were gonna do next. And it was like, well, maybe make another channel, right? For the meantime, and appeal this. But
honestly, Max, I've said this, I still want YouTube to tell me what I was banned for. I still want. They didn't even give me that. If
it's valid, he will accept it if it's a valid thing. But you didn't tell him shit.
No, I mean, Jesse got more of an answer as to why he was banned than I did.
And it took him a week of dragging it out of 10 different fucking employees.
It took me a week, and they just said, oh, you violated You violated terms of service. Okay, what terms of service did I violate? You violated terms of service.
Yeah.
Okay, which one? You violated terms of service. Again, that was later their answer. Like they never gave me an actual answer. So
Yeah, and then at that point, we were like, well, because I'm the kind of guy, and I feel like Sam is too to some degree. Well, if I'm not wanted here, then I'll fucking leave.
yeah, well, and also like if they're not gonna give me a straight answer, then fine. I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
How
do you do business with that? And this is what I said before. We're supposed to trust them with literally our like livelihood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody
Like,
trusts their moderation. Not anybody. Even like far lefties hate their moderation. Everybody hates YouTube's moderation.
Well, and I've said this to young, to to my friends who have younger siblings and they want to become YouTubers. Like I've warned them because, now the thing with kids is they all want to become YouTubers when they grow up, right? And I've told them like, nah, that's not really it. Like, that's not really a good career plan to begin with anyway.
It's a career path equivalent now almost to I want to be a famous movie star. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Very few will make it.
Yeah. And you basically have to become
and in both cases, at some point, you're gonna have to suck corporate dick hard.
Yeah, and in YouTube's case, a lot sooner too.
Yeah. You know who sucks a good corporate YouTube dick though? Is Johnny Fox. Man, he is an expert dick sucker of corporations.
Oh, I mean,
hold on. Let me rephrase. I want to make sure I say things right. Johnny Fox is an amazing dick sucker of corporations. Period.
Well, I mean, I know he failed with Penguin Publishing, but that's the one I'm aware of.
Hey, well, sometimes they don't want their dick sucked. Sometimes they want a prostate massage. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the publishing.
Johnny Fox is gay is the joke, chat.
The publishing industry is a little anal retentive.
Hey, you want to see something funny? Go to Johnny Fox's channel now. You remember how he had the Mersh vaporwave aesthetic for everything?
Yeah,
his new aesthetic is so original, Sam. It's amazingly original. What it is black and neon green. Nobody's ever used that before. Certainly nobody's been using that aesthetic for almost 15 years. Nobody he knows anyway, He literally just aped my aesthetic and thinks that I don't notice, but it doesn't matter to me because yours is half-assed because you have no fucking artistic fucking anything in your body. And I'm not a graphic guy. I'm not a visual artist for the most part in terms of graphic design and stuff, but Jesus, Johnny. Vaporwave. All right,
what the heck? He aped. Let me see. Let me show this to you. I want to.
I'll be clear what I aped. I aped that 90s aesthetic of the Matrix and Hackers and all that. The neon green and black, right? That's been my thing since I did the first version. It wasn't even cringing over coffee. It was the Maxian position. That's always been my aesthetic. Since at least 2012. And by the way, you can check my fucking YouTube channel. You'll find that that's true.
All right, so let me show this real quick. So you're talking about this banner right here.
Yeah, also his new intros for his videos, but yeah. Yeah, I noticed you might notice something else that it's like a kind of cheap knockoff of as well.
He aped my design
Mhm.
as well. My
He just can't help but plagiarize. It's crazy.
he aped my neo-noir design.
And just made it black and neon green. Like that's his fucking jam, bro. That fat fuck. You know, I noticed that the one missing on YouTube of my videos is my call to Penguin Publishing. And I actually think a lot of our author friends might get a kick out of that one. So I'm going to have to, we'll have to share that because that was so funny. Chat, we're doing inside baseball here. Dude, Johnny Fox is a guy I make videos on. He claimed that he's this big author, right? As you can even see there, he has his Amazon.com store /Pierce/author, all that shit. And here's the funny part. He claimed to have on his blog, he was like, I got a contract with Penguin Publishing. So I called Penguin Publishing and they referred me to the legal department to send him a cease and desist letter for saying that. It's pretty funny because the lady is horrified by him. And she's like, what's his name? I'm like, Jack Pearson. Is that supposed to be an author? Oh, great stuff. And he's still just stealing other people's ideas and work because he's a plagiarist.
Apparently he's doing like self-help books now too.
Yeah. That particular self-help book he posted on his community page not that long. Actually, you still got his YouTube up?
Yeah.
Go to the community tab and scroll down, and there's a passage from that Nuke Your Brain book if you want to read it. It's really funny. Let's see. Oh, he's sick. Oh, no. He needs some time away. Yeah, that's what I mean. Look at that shirt. How is that not just aping my fucking aesthetic directly? He even uses like fucking Comic Sans. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? My aesthetic, Sam, for my show, if you haven't noticed, is black, green, and Comic Sans in white.
Yeah, well, I used to think that your name was Max Sands, actually, because of that.
Yeah. Also, because that's what the name of the guy in the movie is. It's probably a little further down. Oh, he's got his t-shirt. Oh, check out his Chillers book series. You know, it's funny, Sam, as you've outsold him almost 100 to 1 according to Amazon statistics. Or I could say any ratio on that. You know why?
Yeah.
Amazon has him listed as selling 0.
I wonder if he like made up an alias and negatively reviewed my book.
No, because it would have been meaner and cattier. It's not written like him at all. It's too nice. Oh, and his dogs that he feeds fucking Stouffer's lasagna. Yep. Look how fat that dog is. You know those Dachshunds, they're not supposed to be fat like that. It'll kill them.
Yeah, no, I know that looks like wiener dog abuse.
Yeah, they have like the most sensitive fucking digestion of all dogs, like pretty much. It's well known too.
Well, when Craig Mansfield and I were both in his Discord, he was crying one night how his dogs were like at the vet, and
oh jeez,
yeah.
On Twitter, Morpheus said it's kind of aping the hashtag DX aesthetic. Yeah, that's partially what I was inspired by myself. The Generation X, The Matrix, the 90s, just generally, right? It was a common aesthetic, the black and neon green. And now he's just copying mine because he's been using Vaporwave the whole time. Like, and by the whole time, I mean for like 10 years, not just like recently.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, a lot of people use the Vaporwave thing.
I know,
So,
that's unoriginal people use it, yeah.
yeah,
And now apparently unoriginal people use my fucking shit, so I have to change it.
Yeah,
That's gonna be it. We're gonna, you know what? If I'm gonna move Cringing Over Coffee to Rumble, we're gonna do it big, and I'm gonna just do a completely different fucking aesthetic for the show.
I mean, you could ape my luck, which is just the super patriotic, American as fuck.
Actually, Sam, if you go back to the old school, that's what the aesthetic was. The original Cringing Over Coffee, the theme song was Heads Up Civil Defense March.
Very nice.
Yeah. And of course, now I have a custom jazz piece that I use because it's more of like because it's a coffee house. I'm going to keep the intro probably the same, but I have to change my overlay. If Johnny Fox is using my aesthetic, I need to use a better one. That just says that I failed because Johnny Fox found it appealing enough to steal. That means it's not very good. Because he doesn't steal good stuff. You get it? Because that's true. he bad ideas. So if he's stealing my ideas, I feel really bad about myself right now.
So, geez, though, that is sad, honestly.
Oh, before we, because I think we've covered everything, because everything today was just the pod awful stuff mostly. I do want to get into the glasses stuff since I bitched about it. You see these?
Yeah, you're
I got from Glasses USA. Let me see here. Glasses USA.
Not sponsored, but maybe they should be.
Well, hey, if you need to save some money on glasses, I can get you $25 off. And it came with a whole bunch of accessories. They're Italian. Apparently, it's some like name brand. The Rock was wearing literally the same ones, I guess, the other day. Just sunglasses instead of glasses. That made me feel a little better about it. Not my favorite pair of glasses ever. But let's take a look at it. At least they gave me, and even the case is fancy Italian leather, all that fucking shit. A little bit more expensive. I didn't pay for the bare minimum. So I didn't get the bare minimum. And that is the case with my insurance glasses, the state mandated insurance that said they would pay for one pair of glasses for me outright. These are them. They're more in line with the glasses I used to wear because I like the smaller frames. But I don't kind of like them. And these took from the time of ordering to the time of receiving these glasses that I paid for, about a week and a half. These, the ones that I'm wearing now, from the government mandated insurance. How long do you think they took?
Like about 3 weeks.
It's been 5.
Whoa, 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 5 total since I placed the order. No, I'm sorry. It's been 5 since I lost my glasses. The first week, I didn't immediately go order a new pair. So it's been 4 weeks, sorry. But then I waited a week. After I put in for these, I waited a whole week before ordering these. And also, I got the prescription wrong the first time. I had to resend it in. And it still only took a week and a half.
Oh, damn.
And let me see if I even have. They gave me so I showed you. I got like a whole little kit. They gave me like 2 cloths to wipe it off with. They gave me extra nose pieces and screws, which is a nice touch. I have the metal ones on, but it also gave me the option for the more rubbery ones. Got all kinds of nice shit. You know what I got with my steak glasses? They didn't give me a receipt, motherfucker. They asked my last name. No ID, nothing. They were just like, here you go. And she hands me the glasses and says, I forgot. And here's a case. And it's the cheapest pleather bullshit case versus you can just smell it. It's an Italian leather fucking designer. What is the fucking Giorgio or whatever the fuck it is? I don't know. It's one of those designer brands. I don't really pay attention to what's hot with the fucking women folk. Giorgio Armani, is that it?
Yes. Yeah. So what you got an Armani sunglass?
Yeah.
You got.
Why wouldn't they were nice. They were not that expensive. I mean, relatively. I might get another pair like it and just get them as prescription sunglasses, honestly.
That would be pretty based. Yeah, no, I like that. I like those glasses on you.
Yeah, it's weird for me because I'm used to frames half the size. So seeing myself like that, even right now, looking at the screen, I'm like, oh boy, man, with his giant glasses. But then I think about it. I have a giant fucking face. So that probably evens it out a bit. But they're not bad. They're comfy. Like I said, free market wins, government loses. What do you want? Who could have predicted that?
Anyone with a working brain. And by the way, Trump 2024, take America back. I might need to get one of those flags.
I know. Now I not only got Johnny Fox aping my aesthetic, fucking Styx is stealing from me too.
Yeah.
Because he got the same flag behind him now, which is funny because how many people have given me shit over it over the years?
Listen, when I first met you, I was like, you're Trump supporter too? Based.
What I love is how like they'll be all about pointing out the Trump flag, but like very rarely does anybody comment that I have a literal no step on snack flag over here. I mean, it's literally no step on snack. Nobody has anything to say about that.
Well, that's
I have a joke flag behind me, and they act like I'm super duper serious.
That's because it's kind of you know, I guess off camera a bit. So
in this format, but there's a much smaller swath of the screen on your show than there is on mine.
Yeah.
How we put our 2 frames in, whatever. The point being, is most of the time you can see it quite well, and you can even see the no step on snack part. And nobody's commented on that. I'm like, I have a joke flag. That's the one I was hoping people would be like, no step on snack. No.
I have
there's a Gadsden on the other side, and then of course there's an American flag right here. But
I had a Gadsden flag somewhere. I think it might be in my.
Mine's just over there, but that one is off camera. The Gadsden. Because see, what I did is the American flag originally the Trump flag wasn't here at all, right? I did American in the mid, and you know why there's flags behind me, ladies and gentlemen? Because I'm in a basement, right? This is where I work. I work in a basement. Do you want to see a basement? No, you don't want to see a basement. So I put flags up because everybody else puts up like green screens and all that cancerous shit.
I mean, they already have to see my library of books.
Yeah, but I have literally junk. You see, it's basement junk, and you can see like There's painting from the people that lived here before, finger painting on the walls and such. It's a basement. That's where my office is. This is where I work. This is where I stream from. If you don't like it, well, then why don't you provide me with some office space?
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to use your own basement than to rent an office. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, this guy streams from his bedroom. Yeah. Well, where else am I gonna stream from?
Hey, it's not my mom's basement, so I don't really, you know what I mean? It's my basement, motherfucker.
Right.
My own basement, and it's big, and that's why it's my work area. Actually, if I showed you, like, if I scrolled it not just directly behind me, because that's where there's like storage stuff, but off this way, it would just be stacks and stacks of computer boxes of just like hardware. There's just like a fucking stack of fucking like graphics cards and shit,
which I would find fascinating, but the audience probably would not. So, you know.
Yeah, nobody would. It's just a stack of boxes. So, hey, I put up a flag, and then I saw that Trump flag. Nobody ever even commented on my flags before that, and then I bought it on the spot. I was like, "Take America back, hell yeah!"
Someone did make a remark a few weeks ago that they eyed my copy of the Watchmen graphic novel in that bookshelf.
Damn, you motherfuckers be looking close, huh?
Which, yes. So
Sammy, you got some splaining to do now that we're looking close. You got a Budweiser bottle in there, sir.
That was from before that was from way before they that was from way before the whole Bud Light.
This is way before it was tranny juice. Gotcha.
Honestly, I think I've had that Budweiser bottle for so long that like trans weren't even a thing.
Yeah, so like what, 3 years?
Yeah, no, I think I've had that since I was like 21, so 2016 basically.
Yeah, and it's not light. See, that's my thing is like, oh, if I drink Bud Light, people will think I'm gay. And I'm like, I already did. What are you talking about? You drink light beer? Yeah, you're probably gay. If you didn't know that, I'm sorry to break it to you.
Light beer tastes like seltzer water.
Especially Bud Light, right? Like, of all the beers in the world, it's the woman beer. Women, that's the beer that women drink, right? Bud Light.
Yeah.
If they drink beer at all, it's Bud Light or maybe Heineken or maybe Corona. Oh God, we said that word. All right, we're not on YouTube and they're not also retarded about context over here. But yeah, girls drink light beer. If you drink light beer, here's the thing. If you're talking about, oh, well, I can't drink the hard beer because I got to watch my figure, then just don't drink the beer because it's all calories, bro.
Yeah. And also if you're gonna drink light beer because it has less alcohol content, but then you drink like five of them, you might as well drink the initial like one beer and just be
That's
done.
Also not true. The alcohol content is pretty much the same.
No.
I know what you're saying.
I know that.
It's different.
Yeah, people think. Yeah. People think, woohoo, light beer. I could drink a whole 6-pack of these and not get wasted.
Now, granted, I can drink a couple 30-packs or my record of beer drinking is not Bud Light. Admittedly, it was with, you're going to cringe, Sam, but my record of drinking in one night is with Natty Ice. How many cans do you think I drank of Natty Ice in one night?
Like 35?
You're very close. It was 45.
Okay, well that just kind of goes to prove my point, though. Like,
And of course, audience, Natty Ice famously is much higher alcohol content than Budweiser, although made by the same company.
yeah.
And also, tastes really bad as beer goes. I'm older now. You could not force me to drink a Natty Ice. You couldn't pay me. But at the time I was like, yeah, but it's like 8%, and I'm gonna drink all these motherfuckers.
I want to point out, a notification just popped out. Morpheus on X goes, ew, Natty Light, what the fuck?
Not
At
Natty
Max
Light.
Sand.
Natty Ice.
Natty Ice.
Hey, I'm a white trash guy. I was a roadie. We were drinking. It's cheap. It gets you fucked up. So we had a couple cases. Look, if you ain't been behind the scenes at like a big concert like that, I don't know. Like, that was the beer that was there, and I was thankful it wasn't Bud that time, because it usually is. It's usually Bud Light. Because that's the funny thing about the whole Bud Light thing is, before Dylan Mulvaney, it was the beer everybody just kind of agreed on. Like, the most people at a party, if you're to pick a beer to appease the most people at the party, it's gonna be Bud Light. Not anymore. They were so ubiquitous. They were the fucking Coca-Cola of beer. The default choice. And they've ruined it in less than a year. Amazing. And now even Trump and Dana White and everybody is like, oh, you guys gotta forgive Bud Light. And I find it funny because, like, I think that they don't understand. The boycott went on so long. These people aren't coming back for the most part. They've already changed their life around that decision.
Well, not just that, but like, I'll tell you what happened was because see, I don't think a lot of people understand. Well, a lot of you and I understand this, but see, people they boycotted Budweiser, but they didn't boycott beer. So what happened was people found other beers to drink instead of Budweiser.
That's what I mean.
Then they were like,
they've adjusted. They've changed their life. They've gotten used to the change. It's not even necessarily a matter of principle for a lot of people. They like their new beer. You made them move on, and they don't want to move back. And there's like this, like what I think it was mostly Trump Jr. and Dana White, and even Kid Rock at this point. They don't understand that, because their relationship with Budweiser was more of a corporate one, more of a business thing. Even if they drank it for pleasure, there are business aspects to it that normal people don't have as a consideration. And so when the normal people, they didn't have to readjust their whole business strategy, right? They just had to adjust. Hey, when I'm at the fucking Packy, you guys don't call them Packies, do you? Is that just here?
Yeah, I think that's a Mass thing.
Okay. It's short for package store. It means liquor store. We call it a Packy. When you go down to the liquor store, I'll say liquor store, all you had to change was, instead of Bud, you got insert here, Yingling, fucking what, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not made by fucking Bud. Sam Adams, but I'd already replaced Budweiser with Sam Adams years ago, so that's not even fair.
Well,
if I do settle for like one of those like mainstream, Pilsner style domestic beers like that, it was never Bud anyway. If I had a say, it was always Miller High Life.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I prefer. My granddad drank Miller, actually, so that's probably why.
Yeah, so did my grandpa. I think, that is called grandpa beer. So
good. You know,
Yeah.
I could chill and sit there and drink a 12-pack, not get too fucked up, not get, yeah. I don't drink much, but
Yeah, no, I like Miller too. So
they did some cringy stuff about like feminism, and I was a little off put, but nothing as bad as Dylan Mulvaney.
yeah, they did like some cringy thing of
Yeah,
like,
the
hey,
women were brewing beer or whatever. And I was like, bro,
well
stop.
well
Just
well
stop.
they did a cringy thing of like, hey, get rid of your Miller High Life like swimsuit ads or something like that, and it was like, instead of getting rid of them, it was like, oh cool, I'm gonna sell
That's
this
the thing.
stuff on.
I think that the Miller's biggest mistake in that is that they didn't realize that their old advertising stuff is actually worth money. So like it's collectibles for a lot of people. Because like my granddad was one of those guys. He had the posters. He had a lamp that was Miller High Life, and it had like it had one of those neon things, and it was a neon sign of a girl picking her leg up, like there's like a yeah. She's just like, it's like a silhouette of a hot chick, and she's like kicking her leg, right?
Yeah.
That shit was cool. And when he died, and he died in the early 90s, and we ended up selling a lot of, because he had a lot of stuff that was we couldn't possibly have kept everything. We got thousands of dollars for his Miller merchandise, and that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's collectible. So Miller's like, destroy your Miller merchandise that's sexist to women, and this motherfucker's like, bro, my lamp is worth $1,500. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah.
Those old school neon Miller signs too. The ones that again have like a hot chick silhouette underneath them. Those I think those are worth like $1,500 or $2,500.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
they're from the 60s and earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I mean that backfired on him. That backfired on him spectacularly. And then I think they saw what happened with Budweiser, and they were just like, yeah,
fuck up. They didn't even make a comment. They just shut the fuck up immediately. We're like, oh, nope. They didn't even do a round of advertising that quarter. Did you know that? Advertising.
No, I noticed that. They stayed quiet, which for them was like, that was a smart move.
It was really the only move. As we've seen by people that tried to like big dick on Budweiser, it didn't work out for a lot of them. The ones that didn't do that, like Yingling didn't really, they seemed to do quite well.
Yeah, Yingling actually like kicked ass. The one that was hilarious was the conservative dad brewing, the one that did like the calendar. That one backfired like in the opposite way, because
you went too hard, bro. You went too hard.
Yeah.
Again, they got cocky. Yeah, here's our chance. We can. No, man, it was just a bit too much. You went a bit. And I'm not even talking the calendar. Just the concept was like a bad idea. I understand why on paper they thought it was a great idea. But the best way to stay out of the beverage war at that point was the Yingling, Miller, Sam Adams, and every microbrewer in the country fucking way, which is just shut the fuck up. Because the king is dying, you don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, well, and the thing about it is,
maybe prepare yourself to be the next king.
Yeah.
The king of beers, so it's a fitting metaphor.
Well, and the thing about it too is like the whole conservative dad, like I'm sorry, but beer is like one of those things, like I drink a beer just to socialize, not really talk politics. So like
they thought that the boycott lifted like this veil so that people would talk politics about beer, but they were wrong in the sense of only because of that one thing. It's such a specific fucking thing that if you're not part of the specific fucking thing, you're just confusing the issue, and people are just like, what are you even on about? No, I just don't want to do Bud because I saw that cringy ad.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that for most people, by the way. They're like, yeah, I don't know. Or even worse, like now that it moved out to the normies, I heard this one a lot. Well, I don't know, man. If I was drinking Bud, people might think I was gay.
Yeah. Well,
and a lot of people do now. A lot of people think, oh God, if I get seen drinking Bud, everybody will think I'm gay. Which is true, by the way. If you drink Bud, you are gay. So you're right.
So then what if you're my gay barber? Because see, the thing that the gay conservatives were all saying was, oh, if I get caught drinking Bud, people might think I'm trans.
Right.
So
that's no matter what you are, drinking Bud will make you something you don't want to be. That's the beauty of it. And if you're trans, drinking Bud, I heard this. I have it from unofficial sources, right? If you're trans and you drink a lot of Budweiser, it'll turn you cishet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. I heard it somewhere.
Well, if you're saying it, it must be true.
That's right. Why would I say anything that I just made up out of my head in thin air? That's never happened on this show.
Because
people rely on me, Sam, for giving them the facts about everything.
Because God favors the funny, as Elon Musk tweeted over the weekend.
I mean, pretty much, right? Yeah, and it's not the first time he said something like that, but I find it great because that's me and Shmuley's like philosophy. Is that why does the funniest outcome have to happen so often? It's just because that's what God wants. Because there doesn't seem to be any other reason why all these things that are happening are so fucking funny. This wasn't. I'm old enough to know this wasn't how it was 20 years ago. Not everything was this ridiculously funny all the time. Like, Sam, it's been less than a fucking month, or I don't even know, a couple weeks. Do you remember the guy who lit himself on fire?
Yes.
Right. Do you remember what it was for?
Palestine.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you see, you weren't completely sure. That tells you everything. That guy lit himself on fire, and you're not even completely, because you were worried that I might say no, actually. But you're pretty sure, right?
Well,
he lit himself on fire and didn't even get his message across. That's so funny. Oh my God, is that funny? I mean, it's horrible for like his family who cared about him. But if they cared about him, they might have stopped him at some point.
Well, I remember it was either Evan or Craig on the Fake Entitled podcast made some funny joke at like, well, that guy's not going to be going to any family barbecues or if, and then someone said, no, he is the family barbecue now. No.
I mean, he goes to the family barbecue the same way I do, right? He gets nice and toasted first.
Oof.
Oh. But seriously, it wouldn't be funny except that in 2 days, internet traffic about this guy fell off a cliff, and we're only a couple weeks out, and people are like, "Oh yeah, a guy did light himself on fire. What was that about?"
I did see a funny sign. Not here in Florida, but I saw it on Twitter yesterday. Apparently, apparently one of the pro-Palestine groups put out a sign that said "Free Ireland from the Jews" or something like that. Which is,
hey, Palestine guys, let me clue you in on something. Ireland is not under the occupation of Jews. It's under the occupation of the fucking British. Well, North Ireland, I should say. No,
Yeah.
I say Ireland is, look. I was listening to IRA music all day. Yesterday, I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole because I'm gonna at some point probably say I don't disavow them at all because I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. Look, imagine, Sam, that a foreign country signed an act that said it was called the Irish Removal Act, and it said that what they needed to do was they needed to take over Ireland, but instead of conquering it like they always had wanted to do before, they just needed to remove the Irish people, you see. And then it would be this wonderful land for British people.
Yeah.
That'll get you some rebels. You know what I mean? That'll get you some people that are pretty fucking angry. And the fact that you still claim, ownership over a fucking quarter of the country, it's no wonder people are blowing each other up from both sides.
And I'd like to point out that before he sold his son to the elites and started railing against Trump, Bono was always singing about that there.
It's funny how much the left loves the IRA if they only knew what the IRA was actually about. Even Sinn Féin, they might be socialists in a sense, yes. But it's not, they're not liberal at all. They are the reason that the thing is happening, ladies and gentlemen. The reason for the troubles has to do with they're extremely Catholic. So I don't really think that the left actually would agree with a lot of the IRA's belief system.
So what you're saying is that Bono's ultra-based?
No, I'm saying he's retarded.
Well, I mean, we all knew that.
You think he's another one of these? Actually, he might be the prototype of it that thinks that any terroristy group, and especially the one from his own country, must be the good guys by default, even if he has literally nothing in common with them. And this is exactly the gaze with Palestine, isn't it?
Yeah.
The IRA is not as big a fan of Bono as he was of them. But they did appreciate stuff like Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Dude, Bloody Sunday. Like, those 14 men in Derry were murdered, by the government. If you don't know anything about the troubles, it's a really sticky situation.
Yeah.
But imagine British people, or any people, literally invading your country, slaughtering men, women, and children for 800 years. And you could see why they might be a little... And at one point, by the way, the genocide of the Irish reached about 35% of the total population. So, I mean, it was... it's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. You could talk about the IRA's death count, but the fucking British government's is like tenfold that.
Yeah.
At least. Maybe 100-fold.
Well, I mean, if you've ever read Patriot Games by Tom Clancy, also in my bookshelf there, Tom Clancy does make a distinction between the IRA and the IRK.
There's a bunch of subgroups. Here's the thing: the original IRA, they did not like civilian casualties. That's not to say they were the best of people, because they absolutely killed cops and soldiers and government officials. But they made a point, especially after there was one that was particularly bad. I forget, because I'm just off the top of my head here doing history as I do. So if I get stuff wrong, please forgive me. But there was one particular explosion where there was a lot of civilian casualties. And so the IRA at the time, and actually the provost, which would be the provisional IRA, which is, again, the breakdown, there's different sides that are on the same side and stuff. But the IRA and the provost pretty much were like, we want to damage them economically primarily and go after officials of the state that is oppressing us. Then there was a group in the 90s that called themselves the real IRA. Their problem was I don't know if you know that in the how the Troubles essentially got to where we are today was the Good Friday Accords. Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
So the IRA did agree to get rid of their arms and stop fighting that way. At the Good Friday Accords, they agreed to disarm themselves and stuff and be a part of the government and such, and also get South Ireland as a free nation, which was the whole point of the thing. But some people didn't like that because North Ireland, as it's supposedly called by the Brits, or, you know, what I call Ireland, is still occupied. And so a lot of former IRA members and other people formed what they called the real IRA because they were against the Accords. A lot of people were. And so they are generally a lot of the most awful attacks, including one, I believe they bombed a building with like 30 people in it that died, or 30 civilians. That's the real IRA, which is basically not the same thing. In fact, they hate the IRA. That's why they're the real IRA, because you sold out, basically, that's their premise. God, you know, Max describes the Troubles to people who don't care or know anything about it is probably not the best content in the world, but
I mean, I find it fascinating, but I'm Irish too, so.
Well, I can't completely just sit here and say I disavow the IRA, because if not for the IRA, I wouldn't exist. Because part of my family, and in fact, my great-grandfather on one side and on another, two great-grandparents that were members that came to America.
Yeah. No, I mean, half my family is Irish, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I literally have this. I am descended from the IRA. I am their descendant. That is 100% true. I can deny that till I'm blue in the face, but it's true. They were in the IRA. They decided to flee the country, as a lot of people did during World War I, because there was conscription. So you're already think about it like this. You're an IRA member. You are being occupied by the British government, right? You're fighting against that so that you can have your own country back. And then they say, oh yeah, and you're now conscripted into our army to go to war for us against Germany or whatever. And these Irish people are like, I don't got a beef with and I mean World War I Germany, so not even the Nazis, right? Just like von Bismarck or whatever. And they're just like, I ain't got no beef with Germany. What are you talking about? You have a beef with Germany. Go fight your own fucking battles, you fucking Anglos. And I believe there's a song for that one too. I'm gonna ruin everybody's night again. Is like, go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more.
Max the Irishman, everyone.
That's right. And we will. Don't fucking test it. We're Irish. We will fight you to the end of time. There's just some strains of DNA on this fucking earth, and Irish is one of them.
True that.
We'll just fight you. We'll just fight you. Maybe don't even need a reason. But look at that. They gave a reason. And then, of course, the other thing is most Irish American immigrants in the late 1800s and early 1900s had a family associated with the IRA.
Yeah.
And they came over here, and like there's a happy ending to the Troubles, really. There's a sad ending of over what's going on over there, but then it's very happy over here, because what happened is us Irish came over and just took over. We took over this Anglo country that they founded and made it better. So there's that.
True that. And that's
and we are the majority of whites. Suck it, Brits. Irish, Scotch Irish, Celtic origin, is the majority of white people. And actually, maybe that's not true.
That's true.
Well, maybe it's not. There's a possibility that it's not true. However, it is true if you go by what they identify as. Most white people will consider themselves part Irish in America, whether or not they are.
I mean, I definitely am part Irish.
Just like a lot of white people would say that they're Native American and they actually aren't. A lot of people say that they're Irish and aren't. It's hard for you to be faking it with a name like Whitfield.
yeah, no, that's it's
like, oh yeah, I'm a Murphy, but I'm probably not Irish or whatever, I'm a fucking McCoy. I'm not Scottish.
There's Whitfield, and then my mother's last name is Genua, Genua, which is just as Italian
as it can get,
as you can get. So yeah.
So
I'm
free Pod Awful, free Ireland. What else have we got? Free America, free us, for fuck's sake. Buy the book, and for God's sakes, don't be so down, Republicans. Laura Trump is in charge of the GOP now, and we're gonna win this thing in November. All this doom pilling. Oh, Biden's gonna steal the election again. No, he ain't. He's gonna fucking try, but like, see, Trump's Irish. Oh, at least a bit. German too. But even better. Agree to disagree. How dare you, sir? You're starting up now. There's gonna be a whole nother thing about the fucking Irish and the Scots, huh? Is that what you wanted, Sam?
No, but we can say that for Wednesday when Craig is here.
Oh God, I'm gonna have a couple Irish guys, a couple cripple guys, a Jew. It'll be great,
and possibly an Indian too. Because Evan might be showing up. So. What he is Native American, or as he puts it, a TP person.
Yeah, I know.
So
I just laugh at it because it's like that. Like, it's funny just putting us like that because like we don't do the identity game like the left does, and so when you put stuff like that, it's like, oh, I guess he is, isn't he?
We don't. Yeah, we don't do.
That's like such a minimal part of his identity as a person, from my experience talking to him or listening to the show.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that he was one until he made the joke himself.
Yeah, it was the same with Craig. I didn't know he was Jewish until he started making Jew jokes. Like, oh, it's just like, I don't know. Imagine your whole personality being wrapped up in like one thing like that. Like if you're gay or I don't know.
Oh yeah, or like the D&D people who are.
Yeah, we've been having some fun with that, huh?
The D&D people who are like, I didn't understand why they don't represent more disabled people in D&D, and then Morpheus and I actually reply and like try to interact with these accounts. Do they reply back to us? Nope.
No, because you'd say, I don't want to be in a wheelchair if I have a choice. Stupid. What the fuck?
I play fantasy games to escape from the real.
Yeah. Let me add to the whole list of things I have to think about in Dungeons and Dragons. Let me ask my normal group of chores, like dragging my fucking chair around. Let me add that to everything else. That sounds like fun. You know what else we should do, Sam? And instead of adding like mechanics for how you can drag your fucking wheelchair through a goddamn dungeon, we should also add in cleaning your apartment and taking a shit. Like, why don't roll to take shits in Dungeons and Dragons, right? So fucking dumb.
I know you're being sarcastic, but somewhere there's some nincompoop out there who's
I'm pretty sure in Varg's game you poop. Granted, the rest of it is like, it's like Nazi propaganda pretty much. And I don't think that's not like Varg's a Nazi. It's well known. He's not like ashamed of that. So I don't think that's unfair. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the game that he made, what is it called? Like Moor Frog or something. It actually has mechanics like about pooping and stuff like that because it's super autistic. But all the funny part is all the races are based on real races and they're not all equal because it's Varg.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you pick Aryan as your race, you have better stats. That's Varg's game. I'm not kidding. You can pick to be black, but you have the worst stats in the game. Because Varg.
Yeah, that's not sus at all.
Well, it's not. It seems to be not too different from the fucking SJW's idea of what Dungeons and Dragons should be. They might as well just use his game, right?
Yeah, well, SJWs and Nazis are kind of two different sides of the same coin.
I feel like the coin is kind of like the middle part that keeps them separated is slowly disappearing.
Yeah, no,
because I've seen some woke people say shit that I wouldn't even expect a Nazi to say, right? And it's like, okay, wow, that's a new one on me. Jesus.
Yeah, no.
I've heard Varg speak at length about his beliefs and never heard something so racist as what this left-winger just said. Okay. I've read Mein Kampf, and what you just said is more racist than anything in that book.
Wow, yeah.
It's like, how do they not see it? Or my favorite thing. Here, trick audience. If you meet somebody that you're talking to casually that you know has a Black Lives Matter sign in their yard, ask them if they've ever had a black person in the house. And then just watch the hilarity unfold, because the answer is no.
Yeah. No, that's almost always the case.
Mm-hmm. And then only they would do it only because you called them out on it. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
If you don't intervene like that, they will never, ever have a black person in their house. But they got Black Lives Matter on the fucking yard, don't they?
Yeah. Did you see that there's a video where I mean, I know we should wrap this up, but did you see the video of the woman who had who was like pro migrant, and she basically had like the woman as like her indentured servant, basically?
Oh my God, no. I'm not surprised. Not at all.
She was basically like let me
you know what would be like a perfect woke thing like that though? Would be to say like, black people have suffered under the oppression of white people long enough. We don't need to be using those evil white people water fountains. We need to have our own separate but equal water fountains, actually. I mean, that's basically the modern social justice movement in a nutshell, right? They're like 1920s KKK members pretending to be progressive.
Well. I mean, the KKK always was pretending
We're
to
very
be
progressive, yeah.
Yeah.
Not progressive enough, though. You know, they didn't. Oh my God. Another fun one. I don't know if you saw me and Mort kind of joking about this earlier, about back to the wheelchair thing. We were talking about how you might make custom rules for that and how I might do it as a DM. One of the things was a picture he showed was a guy in a wheelchair, right? Who was a tiefling, and that made me laugh all on its own. If you're not a D&D person, you don't know. Tieflings is the race you play if you're an edgy boy who wants to be super, super edgy. Okay. Because they're demons. But then on top of that, he's a rogue in a wheelchair. A rogue in a wheelchair. Who is he sneaking up on, Sam?
I mean, if it's in a motorized wheelchair, nobody.
Right. And if it's a power chair, there's a chance. And that's so I adapted that. I thought to myself, what would I do as a DM in that situation for a wheelchair rogue? -2 to stealth. Why? Because -2 is not the worst penalty in the world, but it's a significant one. And at low levels would prevent you from sneaking most of the time. But once you level up a bit and you get some skill in being stealthy, then you can be stealthy, but you still got a -2 because you're in a wheelchair, right? You can sneak. Am I wrong, Sam? Can you sneak around if you really, really try?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it harder than if you weren't in a wheelchair? Yes. So
yeah,
I think that's fair, right? I think that's it's a. And then I was thinking of like, what bonuses would I give? Well, one I said to Morpheus was, let's say you're using a two-handed weapon, you know, like a big sword. Well, you'd have to get a minus stat on that. But say you're using two weapons, one in each hand. Well, you guys, if again, all the wheelchairs they show are not power chairs, right? So you're using your arms. Well, you're used to using your arms independently of each other, right? So wouldn't dual wielding be preferred? If you're going to be melee. Obviously, most people, if you're going to make a wheelchair character, most people are not going to make a melee character. But I'm just saying, let's do it. But then I thought to myself, it can't be a class. Like wheelchair guy can't be a class, right? Because you still want to be a class. You don't want to just be a wheelchair guy. You want to be a rogue or a bard or a fighter, right?
A wheelchair paladin.
Yeah. And I don't want to take that away from any wheelchair guys. So then wheelchair guy is a race. By the way Dungeons and Dragons work, it's a race. How do you feel about that, Sam? yeah, base. So I'll probably do a write-up for how like for essentially based Cripple Man as a race for D&D homebrew. And then to give away the punchline of the joke is then we could do a D&D game and I'm the DM and I could have you and Morpheus play and it will be like make a big deal that we're going to have the wheelchair guy race in the game available and neither one of you would pick it because you wouldn't pick it anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole point of making it is just the joke.
No, but you know what's funny is like Mortis and I, neither of us would pick it, but I feel like Shmuley would pick it.
I might pick it because I was thinking like, what would their racials like be? And I could point out like, yeah, -2 to stealth, maybe plus to archery because you know you'd be range. Maybe you guys again plus to performance as a bard. You know, right?
Yeah,
right?
well,
Things like that.
Yeah, well,
but then the hook of the race is your chair. And I feel like we could make different parts you could choose that have different stats for the chair and really build it out as like almost like a pet character or something. so that it has some personality. That's not what they do, though, is it? No. Because every depiction of wheelchair guy D&D I've ever seen, especially in this last week, they use the stock 1950s hospital wheelchair.
Which
is made, by the way, to roll on one thing and one thing alone, which is tile floor. They're not even made to roll across concrete properly.
No. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, boy, it would suck if you're like in an enchanted forest or something like that, and and like forget enemies. Like, just imagine getting stuck like in a ditch or something.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, is like terrain would have to be a factor for that specific race, right? Because like, oh, if it's muddy, you got to roll to see if you get stuck in the mud. Oh, and if nobody's there to pull you out, well, then you're just stuck for 4 turns, right? Until somebody can come get you.
Yeah.
Is that a bit too realistic? I think that's a bit too realistic. You're just stuck in the... You wanted to play D&D in a wheelchair. Guess what you're role-playing as, motherfucker? You're stuck in the mud. You're waiting for help patiently, bitch. You wanted realism, we gave it to you. You wanted representation? That's what it's like.
Which by the way, I had to do that shit in Boy Scout camp more than a few times.
Yeah. Well, hey, you get stuck in the fucking mud. What are you supposed to do besides ask for help?
I mean,
crawl off and leave your chair, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Don't want to do that necessarily if you don't have to.
Yeah, or just help and come effing get me.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's what you want in your D&D game, is to recreate a feeling of helplessness that you have in real life sometimes. You don't want to play the game to actually like feel powerful or anything like that, or escape. No, you want to actually just role play things you've actually had happen in your real life, because representation.
Yeah, I just want to play real life.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You just want to throw fucking fireballs.
Yeah, it's not like a. Yeah.
So funny.
So.
I'm sure it's not like hear more about this topic from this show in the coming weeks, because it's all the rage in the D&D scene now. And we're the only show that has 2 crippled guys that also know about this stuff that fucking have opinions on it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, and then Morpheus, I know he's been pretty quiet the last few episodes, but man, I'm excited to see him and Craig interact, because between the two of them, like, we'll get the whole entire story of the Sweet Baby Inc. saga.
Now, I might be the quiet one for that episode, simply by the fact of Forza crowd on these shows. Somebody has to be the quiet one. And it can't always be Sam with us talking over him, right?
Nope, not always. So
I think the audience might disagree with that, but I think they think it can always.
It can always be me, but it can be another crippled guy.
Half the audience is so offended when we talk over you, and the other half thinks it's funny. That's my favorite part of our audience, honestly.
Yeah.
I love you guys, man. You don't know. You guys just don't know. Is Max serious? Is he just an asshole? Is he fucking around? Are they actually?
We do love chat. So.
That's the best part, man.
But anyway, folks, I don't have anything left. Do you?
Yeah, I have a very important thing. buy Sam's book. It's called The Fourth Estate. Link in the description.
And it has an awesome cover.
It really does have an awesome
one of the
cover.
best.
And an awesome premise, and I really like the first one, so I will get it. I'm slacking. I had a rough month, Sam. I apologize. I got glasses.
You did. You
got
glasses.
I got hit with an extra $100 fucking electric bill that I don't, more than I usually pay too. So that didn't help.
Oof. Yeah, that'll.
Thanks, Biden.
But anyway, folks, until Wednesday, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good evening.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless. God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.